This is an important alert. It's actually the second introduction to this soap today, and you're going to see why. I was going to call it Summer Sublime, but I'm going to change the name, and I think you'll see the humor in this one. I'm going to rename this Fancy, so you'll see why. Hi everyone, it's Clyde at Vibrant Soap, and today we're going to make a soap called Summer Sublime. Summer's all about fun, and you see what I'm wearing here. I have a Hawaiian shirt and this kind of differently patterned shirt underneath it, and that's going to be the topic of the color scheme for the soap today. I'm going to put two quite different color schemes together, and I'm going to try a spin swirl and spin together these two different color schemes and see what we come up with. So it's going to be a little bit crazy, but I think sometimes crazy is good, and it sometimes gives you a little bit of freedom to not worry so much about the colors if they mix or whatever. It's just kind of a wild, fun thing. So that's the topic of the soap today. Hope you like it. I'm not going to start off with the color wheel today. Instead, I'm going to start off with some ochre. It's like a yellow ochre here. And then I'm going to have some orange. Today's all about having fun with the colors, not worrying as much about everything matching. But it's bright, cheery. The only thing that's not so bright here is ochre, because it's a brown down version of yellow. Okay, so I'm going to put this one aside for a sec. And then I'm going to, if I can grab my paintbrush, I'm going to do some black first, and I'm going to get some white on the page, which you will not be able to see very well because it's white on white. And I'm going to get some green on there. Now, so why did I do two separate sheets of paper for this? And I'm going to show you. I'm glad you asked. So now I'm going to pair up these colors, and you can see them there. They don't really look related at all, and I'm going to use all of this in the soap I'm going to be making today with a spin swirl. And the reason why I think it's going to work, it's a bit of an experiment because it's kind of wild and out there, is that a lot of this mismatch isn't as much color as you would think, because the black and whites are neutral. It's almost like two colors that are off of this palette, but they're going to be part of the color scheme. This will add some highlight, and this will add some definition. But then you see, when you look at these colors across the way here, we also have colors that are related to each other. The green and the blue, of course, to make green you have a little bit of blue mixed with yellow, and also because there's blue and yellow in there, and we have this ochre which has yellow in it, it's sort of related. In other words, if I covered this orange up, you can see how these look pretty nice together. Then when I bring the orange into the picture, ochres have the yellow that's in the orange, so these are pretty much related. So that's why I think it's really going to work. What I also wanted to make sure was that these two different color schemes here had a variety of a dark, a light, and a middle value. If you look over here, I have a dark, because I'll make that blue nice and dark, a medium value, and a lighter value. And so there's many reasons why these two color schemes have enough things related that I think it's not going to be as wild as the outfit that I was wearing when I introduced this video. So let's see how this works together in the spin swirl. Alright, so let's just blend the clay really well. And let's speed up through everything else. Okay, that's emulsified. Let's get the colors. Fragrance in there. Actually, let's put the fragrance in there now before I leave the sink. Just less things on my table that way. Okay, let's move on to the other table. Okay, you're going to see a very simple soap today because this one really accelerated. Sometimes you just can't figure that out. All I can think of is that sometimes we think we measured correctly and we really didn't. So this is this one's going to really surprise you because I usually put all these swirls in there, but alright, some of you were really kind of looking forward to a kind of failed soap. This is going to be fine soap, but it's just not going to be very swirled. Interesting. Let me tap that down. Well, at least I think I can make the top a little more swirled and interesting. Okay, let's get the dividers in there. Nothing gets attention more than something different. So we'll just see if this gets a lot of attention because it's so different than what I do. Okay, so let's at least get some glitter on there. So I can call this semi-fancy. I have said I really do like simple soaps, but this was not planned for. Alright, so this is pretty fast. This is, I think I'll still call it Summer Sublime. And I have all these colorants already ready to go, so maybe I'll try the spin swirl some other time. That's so funny because you really want to use a real loose batter, and I used my loose recipe and it just really sped up on me. I'm not so sure it was the fragrance either. So anyway, I got it in the mold. Hip hip hooray for that. And we'll see you next time. This is Clyde at Vibrant Soap. Okay, let's unmold this extra fancy soap that I made. Let's get that out of the wood mold, which is very easy. Turn this back this way. Peel back the sides. And then it just wants to fall out, basically. That easy. And the bars are already coming out. So this is my extra fancy soap. I've renamed this soap to Fancy. If you know me, you know why that's so funny. Bit of dry humor for you. But at the same time, you know, I would never usually make a soap this plain, but I like it. Sometimes by accident you do things you normally wouldn't do. And there's a little bit of color variation in there because of the colors I used. A little bit of sparkle. And then someone else asked me if I use any oil to lubricate the molds and the dividers to make them slip out this easy, and I don't, for the sole reason that I've never had trouble getting the soap out of this, and because I usually have soaps that gel, probably the glycerin content or the fact that the soap recipe I have is so slick, they just slide right out of the mold very easily. Hope you're able to see that. So you see as I get more of these out, the dividers come out pretty easily, and it kind of dictates my procedure. Look, they're just falling right out. One more to go. They're all unmolded. I did the same type of texture on my San Diego avocado soap, and I really liked it. So for plain colored soap, that texture becomes even more important. That one's nice. So other than cleaning these all up, this is done. I'll move on to my next soap, and have to thank you again for watching and subscribing. That's just really nice to see. It's like a little community there, and I really appreciate that. Kind of makes me feel like I'm actually talking to someone else than just myself. So again, this is my soap, Fancy, and thanks for watching. This is Clyde at Vibrant Soap, and we'll see you real soon. Bye.